to our Court of Honor. My name is G Powell, and I am the Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 201. We are glad to have you come and celebrate the accomplishments of our troop. During this time of COVID, and we have to maintain compliance with the Picking County regulations and the Snowmass Chapel Safety Plan. We kindly ask that all attendants maintain 6 feet of distance and wear your face mask while you are here, and use the hand sanitizer before and after entering the chapel. Failure to adhere to these regulations will threaten your ability for the chapel to remain open. Thank you for your understanding and compliance. We will begin with a short flag ceremony presented by the Yeti Patrol. After the flag ceremony, please remain standing as Clay offers the opening prayer and the Lakota.
Please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
Today we have asked our Eagle candidates to open. This afternoon we are using colors to represent the Scout Oath, Scout Law, and the Trail to Eagle. We invite all Scouts and Scouters past and to present and stand to join with us. We will begin with the Scout Oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty in God of my country, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and on the truth.
2. Peter.
Establish trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2.
It's my great privilege this afternoon to honor 2 more members of Troop 201 who completed all the work to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Both young men were members of Pack 224 and earned their Arrow of Life, the highest club scout award. Both have advanced through all the scout ranks and have given leadership to complete service projects to benefit their community. It is my privilege to have the red candle lit for both of their scouting journeys.
As the charter representative of the troop sponsored by Aspen Elks Lodge number 224, it is my privilege as a fellow Eagle Scout to declare the Court of Honor to be duly convened for the purpose of presenting the Eagle Scout Award. For those of you present, if you received the Eagle ring, would you please stand? First, you may be seated. Eagles, would you please tell us where you received your eagle, your troop number in town, and the name of your scoutmaster. Let me start. My name is Dick Miller. I received my eagle badge in 1952. In Clinton, Iowa, troop number 2, Robert Holmes was my scoutmaster. Sir.
Eric Hansen, I did it in San Francisco, 1917. My scoutmaster was Joseph Berman, and still serves at 25 years old.
My name is Greg Valverde. I'm Troop 647, Dallas, Texas. I got my eagle in 1962, and my scoutmaster is Tom Hughes. G Powell, West Texas. Sport Post 34. See my eagle 1962. My scoutmaster is Rex Stevens.
Bob Shannon, I got it in 1963, Walden, Wisconsin, again, that's a long time ago, I don't remember the truth, but I remember whatever it is.
Blake Campbell, Lexington, Massachusetts, Troop 193. First Scoutmaster Bob Johnson, followed by Vernon Welch, followed by John Ward.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Nate and Dick, for a great opening. It is great to have so many Eagle Scouts here with us this afternoon, and thank you all for being here. My name is Michael Bear, and I am the Scoutmaster of Troop 201. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker this afternoon, G Powell. Gene and his wife, Dana, live in Aspen and San Antonio, Texas. Both have strong connections to the BSA. As you heard earlier, Gene received his Eagle Scout in 1962. Dana's father was also an Eagle Scout who attended the first official National Jamboree in 1937. Gene's long association with the Boy Scouts of America includes his attendance at the 50th anniversary Jamboree held in Colorado Springs, where we understand that he traded some interesting items with other scouts. He served scouts as both an assistant scoutmaster and a scoutmaster of Troop 41. As a successful businessman in San Antonio, Gene was appointed to the Board of Regents of the University of Texas by Governor Perry and eventually served as chairman. He remains committed to the development and education of all young people. Please welcome Mr. Powell.
I've seen Robert do this 100 times, but I'm not quite sure where he put the water.
Not water.
I'm going to. Troop 201, thank you for having me today. And Michael, thank you for a very nice introduction. We got to visit a little bit before I came up here, and I heard a little bit about the troop, a little bit about his son, and the scouting history at Aspen. I also think that Ellis for being sponsors. I've worked with tough troops over the years and know what a tough job that is to continue sponsoring troops and to taking care of scouts, and everybody appreciates it. Thank you so much. Robert, thank you for the Cub Scout group. I think it was 6 guys, but it all of them about this big. Who would have thought that they ended up today looking like they look? And the families. I don't think anybody's involved with scouting, it looks like most people here today are. Everybody knows that it takes not only great troop leaders, it takes strong families, good families that put up with all of this nonsense that we go through, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And it turns out to be not such nonsense. It's great things that we go through, but it's a tremendous dedication of time and effort that parents put into this, and also siblings put into this. A little bit about Bo and Peter. I checked around about both of them, and developing a little bit about what they were like. First 2 or 3 stories about Peter I rejected. It's okay, Peter, we all have some of those. But Bo had some great stories about Bo, and a phrase that's come into vogue probably in the last 10 or 15 years is I've got that, or we've got that. We didn't have that when I was a scout. So I was told a story about Bo being in the outdoor education program at Aspen, and had a group of kids, 8th graders, they were going on a camp out, and they're going to be out all weekend by themselves with nobody with them. And somebody had to bring food, and somebody had to bring gear and camp equipment. And these kids were very upset. They'd never done this. Bo's in the group, he listens to this go on for a couple of days. He realized they're a little bit panicked. Finally, he says, guys, how many? I got this. I got this. The rest of the kids didn't know what that meant. But Bo had been a scout long enough, a Cub Scout long enough, that he knew that he could handle this. So he stood up, without being braggadocious, he stood up like a scout would, took charge, and they had a great camp out. Another thing I heard about him was that his mom decided that he needed to be broad a little bit, so she took him to New York City and kind of dropped him in the middle of Manhattan. He looked at the map, he said, well, Mom, this is not hard, it's just an island. Streets run north and south, east and west, there's a river on each side, how can you get lost here? And the one great story I love about Peter is that, I think it was Camp Timberline, Peter, as I remember correctly, and your mom said that she asked you about what you like, Peter, do you like canoeing or rowing or the paddle boards? Peter said, no. I really like swimming in the lake. And she said, wasn't that cold? He said, yeah, that's what I like. She said, well, the other guys, did they swim too? He said, oh, no. You had to go through a swim check, and the water was really cold. He said, nobody was going through a swim check but me. So, these are the things, the great stories that all of us have. Every eagle that's in the room, and every scout that's in the room can tell a lot of them. But they tell me something about these 2 boys, which are becoming Eagles today, and they both got great personalities, they've got great leadership skills, and they're committed. And in talking about their commitment, I want to just visit with you about something for a minute that continues to boggle my mind. I mentioned it to Michael earlier. These kids, let's pass over Cub Scouts, but let's start with Boy Scouts. They come to the scouting program at 11 years old, and we hand them a handbook that first night. It's about that thick, and it's pretty complicated. And then we show them the stack of merit badge pamphlets over here. When you get through reading that book and understand that, you can move on to these books. They're 11. Sometimes they're 12. We then quickly move on. We give them, and we heard it tonight, the 5 pillars that we all think about: the oath, the law, the motto, the slogan, the outdoor code. All these things hit them in rapid succession. And they then have to make a decision. They spend a few weeks, they work on their tenderfoot, they look around within that first year, and they either decide, I'm going to have a lot of fun with my friends, we're going to do a lot of camp outs, we're going to do a lot of neat stuff, or I'm going to go for my eagle. Now, some guys will tell you we didn't make that decision, but somewhere, sometime, you had to make that decision. And to think about it, that this is a decision to embark on a ladder of success that would be daunting to a college student and to most adults. And we ask 11 and 12-year-olds to make this decision. And the amazing thing is that they do it. And they not only do it, but they do it well. Most of us would say, if you just took it out of context and ask, can your 11 or 12-year-old do this? You'd say, my 11 or 12-year-old can't decide what flavor of ice cream he wants. How is he going to decide whether or not he wants to be an Eagle Scout? If they make the decision to pursue their Eagle, and which the boys in this room have today, and several other people in here, think about what they've just done. At 11 or 12 years old, they have committed to an endeavor, to a major endeavor. It includes mapping out a calendar. Michael and I were just talking. If you're going to get 21 merit badges or more merit badges, and you're going to get all the way from Fingerfoot, the first class, the Star, the Life, the Eagle, you've got to sit down with a calendar. You've got to map this out. Because you probably have 4 to 5 years to get this done. Hustling all the way. You have to make some decisions. You have to sit down with your scoutmaster and have plenty of conferences. You have to determine that you're going to become a leader in your troop. You're going to be a patrol leader. You're going to be senior patrol leader. You're going to take some responsibility for the other guys in the troop. They've not discussed this commitment with their parents because their parents have to be tremendously involved in this. And they have to find merit badge counselors. Michael and I were just talking about that also. Not an easy thing. Merit badge counselors can't do more than 7. And now there's all kinds of restrictions on them to even become a counselor. And so they have to map all that out. And then they have to figure out that darn community service project. And they have to figure out what it's going to be, and they have to design it. And they have to redesign it. Then they have to figure out how to finance it. And then they have to figure out how to convince enough adults to help them build the darn thing. And then when they get all down to it, they realize it didn't work. And so we're going to have to redesign it. And I think if I know a little bit about both of your projects, they both have to be a little bit redesigned and recalculated and refigured. Well, you have to do that on the fly. You can't, I do that for a living, but I get paid to do that. These guys are going to school, doing other things, and at the same time they're trying to put together a project that they have to get done in order to get their Eagle. So, think about the challenges that we put in front of these young guys and girls. They have to step up, commit to this, and spend 4 or 5 years pursuing this award. I read the list of scouts that have got their Eagle from this troop. How many is it, Mark?
I'm not sure.
24 or something like that? That's an amazing number. There were 6 guys when we decided that we were too old for Boy Scouts. And we didn't know what to do, and we all got together, we were all friends, we all been scouting all our lives, and we said we really need to go get our Eagles. So we formed a post. In those days, Explorer posts were not that popular, but we formed a post of 14 guys. And 6 of those guys went on and got their Eagle at 1 Court of Honor. So I'm really impressed when you see this many. You see 4 at a time, you see a total number of 24 coming out of the troop. It's really impressive. And thank you for all the scouting representatives in this room that work with this troop to make this happen. And so now, you're going to get that Eagle pinned on you, assumed by your mom. And what comes next? So we've talked about what it took to get here. And what happens when we leave here today? So I've been Eagle 58 years. I heard 57 years. I've heard several members in the room that go a long ways back. All of us, if we get together, we older guys, and talk about our experiences through our lives as Eagle Scouts, you'll be amazed at how similar those experiences are. The very first thing, now this is the way Robert does this. But the very first thing is, guys, you got to continue to live up to the oath, the law, the motto, the slogan, the outdoor code. You never get to forget it. It's with you forever. So, I'm sorry, but you're hung with it. And you got it. And the other eagles in this room, the other eagles, thousands of eagles that have gone before you, all expect you to uphold those ethics. It's what eagles are about. It's what scouting is about. And so you have to, you can't ever give that up. No one is ever going to give you anything because you're an eagle. And interestingly enough, it will get you in a lot of doors. Now you're going to have to make the sale once you get in the door, whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to get a class in college that you can't quite get into, if you're trying to get a job interview, if you're trying to sell a product. I have a lot of people look at my resume over the years, and you know what's interesting, when I made my first resume, I was shortly just becoming eagle. So the first resume that I had, the only thing that really was on it was I was me. Now, 58 years later, that resume's grown to be longer. But in that same position on my resume, in the same place for 58 years, has been Eagle Scout. So people look at that, and they're not going to give me a job. They're not going to give me the same. You know what? You can see it in their eyes. Well, maybe I'll talk to this guy. He is an Eagle Scout. You will have the same experience. And achieving what you've just achieved at 16 years old, 17 years old, going into your sophomore, your junior year in high school. I'm sure that you feel pretty self-confident that you've got this. You know skills that 58 years from now, your friends will still not know. And the confidence that you all feel today will grow. You'll realize how much I use the things I've learned in scouting, not every day, but almost every day of my life. I realize tonight I have a half dozen really nice pocket knives that people have given me. Look what I carry. A Swiss Army knife that I carry as a scout because I don't do a whole lot of things that really nice pocket knives won't do. The things that you know how to do, that you learn how to do in scouting, that you continue to use. My wife sitting back here, one of our sons, both of my boys are Life Scouts. And the other day, some of them was coming to the office and they didn't know how to get to the office. So I quickly gave them a map. Annotated the map, put them north, south, east, west. And my 44-year-old son happened to see the map. Oh, he says, Dana. He says, so-and-so's come to the office. Another opportunity for Dad to display his map-making skills. I learned map-making skills and reading maps and using a compass as a Boy Scout. But I've never, ever lost it. So you're going to have a tremendous amount of self-confidence that other people don't have. And you guys need to respect that and realize you need to use it. It affords you the opportunity to be leaders in almost anything you do. You're going to know a little bit more, you're going to have a lot more experience. Step up and take the responsibility. The world will be better for you taking a leadership position. You have the ability, you have the knowledge, you've done it, continue to do it. And an interesting thing that I've learned along the way is in any group, whether it's Sunday school group or a community group, whatever it is, if you just step up and say, I've got this, most people will step aside and let you take it. And you can lead the group. And the group will be better for you having done it because of your experiences being a scout. So do that. I think that I pretty much covered what I wanted to say to you. I want to thank you for inviting me. I want to thank you for what you've done. I want to thank the scouts in the room and the scouting representatives in the room that have gotten to this position. I want you to understand what you've accomplished because it won't soak in right now, guys, but it's a huge, huge understand that going forward, you have an obligation to continue to be scouts, to continue to lead, to continue to be an example to others. You know, I mentioned because of my experience in the university systems, something that's still prevalent today that you guys can do something about is hazing. I know that we tease Cinderfoot and we play jokes on campouts and things like that. Good fun is good fun. Hazing is a whole other thing. You're going to be in positions where you get into college, you get into the military, you get into various situations where older individuals really harass and haze younger individuals to the point of danger. Never be that guy. Never be that guy. In closing, I want you to thank Bo and Peter for inviting me to do this. I want to congratulate you guys on really doing a great job in becoming Eagle Scouts. And I want you to realize that this is you just finished the process, but the real journey is just beginning. So from today forward, you're going to blossom. You're going to take what you've learned today. I hope that someday you'll take the time to be a junior scoutmaster, an assistant scoutmaster, a scoutmaster, if it's a cub leader. If you have the opportunity to serve, do it. Step up. Help the next generation. That's what it's all about, is passing it forward. Congratulations, and I'm really proud to be here with you today.
Thank you very much for your comments. We will now present an Eagle ceremony. Would Bo and Peter please come forward and stand in front of the stools?
I've led many young men to the summit of this mountain in a long journey from camp to camp, along the trail of Eagle. I see two more who have made the climb and reached the mountaintop. Before admitting them to the honored membership, we must first hear their story of the climb along the Eagle Trail.
I have served as a guide to these scouts. They have reached each rim along the trail. They have worked diligently to build their scout skills. They have sought experts who gave them valuable counsel on many subjects required to complete their goals. They have accepted the advice and encouragement of many capable leaders. They have been examples to family and friends.
Before admitting these scouts to the realm of Eagle, I must have assurances that they have been faithful in serving the truth. Michael, have they practiced giving leadership to younger scouts?
Yes.
Have these Eagle candidates met all the qualifications?
Yes.
Mr. Scoutmaster, have you prepared them in every way?
Yes, both of these young men have completed all that is required. They are ready to be Eagle Scouts.
Then we, the voices of the four winds, we come forward and we will assist them in this journey. You are now seated in the center of the four winds. First among these is the
power of the west wind, represented the source of power that we may draw from to gain strength. This power can be used to face the challenges that life will give you in your future. I place sage as a representation of the oldest medicine given to the people in the bag. It is the sage whose power carries protection.
I am Northman, representing freedom and the test that tries the souls of men. As you face the challenges in life, find the lessons that life presents to you along your path. Seek always to find and promote the healing authors in these challenges. I offer sweetgrass, which invokes the benevolent to be present. Grass always listens and is always obedient to the will of the Creator.
I represent the east wind, home of the enlightenment. As you grow in age and wisdom, continue to walk on the beauty path in balance with all things. I add cedar to bring blessings and purification to that which has been invited, both seen and unseen, as well as heard and unheard.
I am the south wind. It is from the south that we begin and end our journey on earth. Be thoughtful of every breath you take. Be grateful to your mothers for the sacrifices they continue to make on your behalf. Look out on behalf of others, especially to avail yourself to giving service to children and elders. I add cornmeal to nourish, sustain, and remind you of the gifts of life.
We present you with these gifts: sage, sweetgrass, cedar, cornmeal, and add local soil to remind you where you have been a scout. The Mother Earth, Coghill, source of all things.
You have the next step you must take is to receive the charge to Eagle. You invite Brave Baldwin, fellow Eagle Scout, to do that.
Candace, please stand. Before I administer the charge, I wanted to share some of my own comments with you. My comments are going to be similar to James. We started this journey when you guys were in first grade. And Gene mentioned the 6 years, but it's way longer than that. And as he mentioned, it takes a lot of work on your part, commitment from parents and families, and we took it to bump scout pack, and look where we are now. Couldn't have done it without Robert and Dave, and Andrew and Mike, and here we are full circle. So very gratifying. Robert thanked me when I came in here, and this is never anything that you ever want to have thanks for. It's been, I think, as rewarding for me as it has been great for you guys. It's been an opportunity for me to bond with you guys, to know you guys, to know some great parents, and of course, bond with my son in a way that I probably never would any other way and watch them do things I did 30 years ago. So it's been so rewarding. And if you'll think back to your Blue Gold banquet when you got your Weeblo award, back then I challenged you guys to go towards Eagle Scout rank and administered a challenge to you, and here we are today. You're at that point, and it's with pleasure that I get to administer the charge to you. So I invite all Eagle Scouts to stand and to renew their commitments. Please give the scout sign and repeat after me. Please use your own name after saying, I, Greg Delta, reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 points of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example and to use my status and influence count strongly for better citizenship in my troop, family, and community. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Do. Thank you. You may be seated.
Three flaps for the 3 points of the Scout Oath. And a reminder to live up to the Eagle Oath that you have just taken today. Carry this with you as we stay forward. Listen.
Remember the 12 points of the Scout Law. Here is a reminder that you should remember to keep the law of the land where you live and the laws of equality, civility, and divinity. Listen.
As members of the Order of the Arrow, I remind you of your obligation and the admonition you have committed to be part of a brotherhood of church service that shows respect and love to all. As ordeal members, I now challenge you to complete the brotherhood with the order and the seminary. Listen.
Gentlemen, always remember the commitments and obligations you have made and will continue to make in your life. Remember the gifts that you have received from your Creator and act upon every good influence brought forward in your life. Here is a reminder of the gifts from the four winds. The sage for strength, the sweet grass for healing, the cedar for balance, cornmeal for nourishment, and soil to ground you. May these medicine bags serve as a constant reminder of this day. May you always remember to listen and use your gifts wisely.
We now entrust you back into the care of your scoutmaster who has been your guide.
With Bowen, your family, please come join us. Gentlemen, people that surround you now continue to love and support you. And we want to include them in the presentation of your Eagle neckerchief and slide and Eagle Scout badge. Would your family please remove your troop neckerchief and replace it with the Eagle neckerchief and slide? We always have the mothers pin the Eagle badge on. Because the one thing that's constant is behind every Eagle Scout is a pushing on. Now, Scouts, I'm going to give you these parent pins for you to please. It's okay to give your mom that. I'll do it. Thank you. And I'd like to present you with your Eagle certificate and your Eagle Project book. Really is right there. I can present something to you. Congratulations from important leaders and other organizations
Hey, Bo, would you like to say a few words? Come up here, you can grab a microphone off the chair and talk out there.
All right, so those are some big speeches to go on for Mr. Powell. Do my best. So through Boy Scouts, I've had many mentors, but 5 that stand out most have been there during my life for a very long time. My first member, my mentor would have to be Brian Hawkins. At the moment, Brian Hawkins is in Oregon, so he couldn't be here, but Brian has been in my life as a second dad. This helped my mom and I numerous times. And it had to do with scouts, sports, school, or just life. He was there. My second mentor would have to be my uncle Derek Menas. Derek Menas has also been there just like a second dad. And he helps out my mother and I, basically whenever we need him, and he's taught me life skills just as Boy Scouts has. My third mentor, you guys are going to have to work it out and split it up, but would have to be Greg Valco and Mike Thomas. If it wasn't for them, I would probably not be here today. My mom came home from work one day and told me that one of her colleagues was starting a Cub Scout troop. And through that, I've been taught so many things in life that I've never been able to be here without them. So I thank them very much. My fourth mentor would have to be Lindsay Holman. Lindsay is also not here with important plans, but he was a huge help during my Eagle Scout project. If it wasn't for him, because there was a lot of construction, I would definitely have no clue what I was doing. So he was amazing. And my last mentor is actually 2 people as well. And these 2 people are my best friends. And so the first one is Jenny Ellis. Jenny also couldn't be here for important plans, but Jenny's my best friend, and I can't imagine describing how much of an impact she has done in my life, and I don't know where I would be without her. And then my other friend is also Lindsay Holman's son, Court Holman. I would not be here without his enthusiastic personality through school, life, and sports. Thank you.
We're taking a big cover, so you come along with there's so much diversity, and I'm so proud of you, and it's been an honor and privilege to be on this. Congratulations.
Well, thank you all for being here on this very nice Saturday afternoon. I appreciate all your support that everyone here has given me. Thank you, Mr. Powell, for your amazing speech that you pulled together despite my difficulty in providing you with good speech material. I appreciate your willingness to step in and be a part of the ceremony. I also appreciate the support you've shown the chapel, my family, and myself throughout my scouting adventure. During my years in scouting, I've come to realize that scouting is less about your own achievements and more about helping others. Without the help of many special people, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I would like to thank Aspen Elks Lodge for sponsoring my troop. And I would like to recognize a few people in particular with the mentor pin. Starting with Greg Coghill. He started our Cub Scout Pack 224 at Snowmass Chapel when I was in first grade. Not only was he the Cub Scout master, he got other dads to be leaders. So thank you. Mike Thomas, and my dad were two of the other four original leaders of our Cub Scout Troop 224. He has been involved throughout my whole scouting career, culminating with our 50-mile high fulfillment. Although, for your age, I'm pretty surprised how fast you were. Michael Bear and his wife Lynn are my scout leaders. They live, eat, and drink scouting. Without them, I don't think there would be a functioning troop in Aspen. They demonstrate good morals, commitment to scouting, the importance of family, and how to reach one's goals. They have been at a troop meeting or scout event nearly every week for years. They have given up so much of their time for scouts. I would be an eagle if it hadn't been for their leadership and guidance. Thank you. And to Rochelle Wright, down there, is my youth group leader here at Snow Ash Chapel. She has been there for me every single day since 8th grade. Over the last year, she has been a role model, a counselor, my occasional ride to school, and one of my closest friends. She's given up countless days just to hang out and listen, and I can always count on her for anything under the sun, so thank you. And also to my Uncle Stephen for being my mentor in golf. Although my golf capabilities kind of go downhill when I'm playing with him, so I don't know. But I appreciate your support throughout golf. And to another four who can't be here, or three, my grandfather Papa Rick, my other uncle David DeWetter, and my cousin Dale, who are people who supported me throughout my scouting career. And then also, my parents, they didn't get a mentor pin, but they got parent pins, although they deserve much more than this. Without my parents, I wouldn't have joined Scouts. They have been there for me every day and have never complained about taking me to meetings or events. They teach me what it means to be a good human being. I can never pay you for the love and support that you show me, so thank you. Again, thank you all for being here.
Just do one ceremony.
Just for the sake of all the districts, or other members that are here,
This concludes the Eagle Scouts Court of Honor. Please welcome the newest Eagle Scouts to the Denver Area Council.
And I've been asked to do the closing benediction, which I shall do. And I will just say before I do the benediction, just thank you all, each of you, for being here. I think it is a time of worldwide upheaval and pain that we are all reminded more powerfully, especially with this kind of ceremony, of what matters the most in life, which is love and family and friends and things like this. It's the definition of really all that really matters when it's all said and done. So thank you all for being here. And let us pray. Gracious God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the gift of life that you've given each of us. Thank you for the gift of love, which is what matters more than anything. Thank you for all who have been influences in the lives of Peter and Bo Thank you for their journey. Thank you for this troop, for all who have made it possible. And thank you for your kindness and your graciousness, Lord, for leading us all. And so I ask that you bless us as we leave this place, and especially I ask that you bless Bo and Peter in their life journey ahead, that all that they do will reflect your love and the integrity that Scouts represents. In your strong name, Lord God, we pray. Amen.
Thank you all. Thanks everybody for coming.
Really nice to meet you.
No, I went to,